Hey Reefers, welcome back. Today we're going to take a deeper look into RO units, why it is a must for reefing. I do believe in RO water over and above any form of dechlorinating or any binding of impurities in water and adding that to your system. The reason being is when you're using a chemical that's binding the impurities that you don't want in your aquarium, what's to say that they come out of solution and back into your aquarium and you've now put those impurities back into your aquarium. So what you need to look at, number one, is the amount of water you need to use in a week. If it's under a certain amount, let's say less than 100 liters a week, and you are more than happy to go to your LFS and collect RO water from them, given that their RO water is of good quality. Remember, never be afraid to ask your LFS what is their TDS. If they cannot give you an answer or at least show you a TDS reading, then I would second guess using their RO water unless you can take a sample and get it tested yourself. Also, a good indication is to have a look at their aquariums, and if they are not kept in good quality, there could be a reason behind what RO they're using in their aquariums. Those are the things to look at. Like, we personally try and keep our RO at 0. Yes, it does rise, it does come to 2 TDS or so, but at that point we're ready to change our resin. I mean, anything under 10 TDS is acceptable, depending on why it's at 10. If for example, one thing to look at is if your RO unit is producing 5 TDS before it's going through the resin, but after it's going through the resin it's producing 10. That means your resin is fully saturated with whatever it's taken out of the water and now starting to leach it back out. Now, we don't know what exactly it's leaching back out. It could be bad impurities that we really don't want in our system. So that's things to look at. If you say, oh, but it's 10 TDS and it's still acceptable, but your RO unit is producing 5, after going through the resin it's producing 10, that means the resin is leaching back into the water. So like I say, these are things we need to take in mind and look at. Okay, so now let's say you don't feel you need an RO unit because your water usage is not that great per week, and you're already getting your premix from an LFS, for example, and you're getting your RO water from an LFS, then yes, you don't need to get yourself an RO unit. But not saying you don't need to use RO water. Remember, when you're using tap water, yes, different places in the world have better quality tap water, and it all depends on what is in that tap water that we're trying to avoid putting in our aquarium. Yes, you get stuff that binds or removes chlorine, chloramine, heavy metals that we don't want, any other impurities in the water, but are they actually removing them or just binding them? With an RO unit, at least we know that it is removing all these chemicals out the water. Yes, remember when we're doing a top-up, so evaporation has occurred and now we need to top up our aquarium, or we have it connected to an auto top-up, we want to put back into our aquarium water with little to no impurities. When we have evaporation happening, so all those impurities are still in the aquarium. So by adding, for example, tap water, we're now adding to the impurities to the aquarium, rather than adding an RO water with little to no TDS, and that there is eliminating impurities that we're adding back into the aquarium. As for water changes, if you're using natural seawater, then you will be adding nitrates and phosphates back into your aquarium, certain other elements. Yes, there's nothing wrong with natural seawater, and also depending on where you are situated. I mean, you don't really want to be taking natural seawater directly out from a river mouth because there's going to be loads of impurities in there that you don't want. Obviously, the further out to sea, sand filtered, any purification that you can do to that water would be even better. But if you're using premix, you certainly don't want to be making premix salt water with synthetic salts with tap water. The impurities in there you just don't want to be mixing up. And also the chlorine will react with some of the chemicals in the salt. So yes, you can use dechlorinators and impurity binders, but like I've said before, they're not an impurity that they are removed from the water. They're still in the water, just bound. If for any reason they came out of solution, those impurities would be in your aquarium. So going forward, an RO unit is a must-have for a reef keeper. Like I said, if you're getting your RO from a LFS, that is great. Don't be afraid to ask your LFS, what is the TDS on this water? You know, at any given time, our water could range anywhere between 0 to, I think the max we've gone up is 3, and then we change our resin and it goes back to 0. But we're trying to give our clients the best quality RO water we can give them, as well as all our inmates in our store. I have made a video recently on changing your filters. I just thought this video would be a little bit more in depth on why we need an RO unit. So basically what it boils down to is adding back the least amount of impurities to our aquarium. Remember, we are running a closed loop system. Its ecosystem is within itself. So the better quality water we can provide it, the easier it would be to control our macro and micronutrients in our aquariums. You know, I have experienced it in the past where using poor quality RO water has spiked certain nuisance algae like cyanobacteria, and it's things that we're trying to keep away from our aquarium. So there we know we've scratched at least one reason why we could have an outbreak of a nuisance algae. So when you're ready to purchase your RO unit, don't waste your time or your money on a system that is not dedicated to reefing. You know, if you're one of my viewers in South Africa, there's a product here called the Waterboy. We've been using Waterboy RO units for the past 22 years as hobbyists, and now in our store. You can get the units from us in Durban, or you can contact Marco from the Waterboy directly. Now, you won't go wrong with a Waterboy unit. They are great units to use, easy to set up as most RO units are. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just this system is dedicated for reefing. And as well, if you are a USA viewer, there's a product, there's an RO unit from Malev's Reef. Just contact Mark. He also sells great units, and they are dedicated to reefing. You know, if there's anyone else anywhere in the world, let me know if you know of an RO unit in your country, and I'll add that to the description below as well. We're trying to make reefing easier for everyone, and I've been using RO for the past 22 years. I've been in reefing for 38 years, and I've used tap water. And yes, you have success with it, and no, you don't have success with it. Since using RO water for the past 22 years, it's made my reefing experience a lot better. Yes, and you know, RO units are the way to go. They've made my life a lot easier. My customers that use the RO water from Reef Maniacs, they know that they're getting good quality RO water, because I wouldn't put anything lower, anything not of good quality in our reef tank. You know, a reefer of 38 years, I'm passionate about this hobby. I love this hobby. I want to see this hobby grow, and I want other people to enjoy it. It is an enjoyable hobby, and when you do things correctly, it makes life so much easier. I'm going to leave a link on screen for the video on changing your filters on your RO unit, and we'll see you there. Happy reefing!